That's like seeing Taylor J mad out in the wild. That just never exists.
Came out really flying off the handle there. Sorry to see him.
Well, there we go,
harsh
guys.
Letters.
We got everything set and ready to go for match number 3 as we're headed back into Miramar again. Had some very safe first 2 circles inside of our first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So now let's see, does the chaos become a thing? Is it the ladder that some of these teams can climb?
Oh, look at you with your chaos as a ladder references. I love it. But look, this plane doesn't really tell us anything. I mean, usually
absolutely nothing.
Usually you see a plane play path and you're like, okay, well, what would be the worst possible scenario for this circle? But this one, right across the middle.
It's like you can do whatever you want unless you want to go to prison or maybe Campo Militar, which we have seen that getting a little bit of play nowadays.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, we've seen Envy go up there a few times. We've seen BFG end up there. But probably won't see him there this time.
Or I would say worse planes. Like,
yeah.
I mean, let's be real. This is what all the players like, is whenever it's just like, oh, okay, I can do whatever.
Back to glacial pace talk.
Well, I mean, really, everybody is dropping at a glacial pace right now, but there's so much fun that's going to happen in a completely non-interesting plane path. So with this, at least we get to go over here and look at the Luchador Arena as everybody's running around doing some looting. It feels like a long time since we've actually watched Cloud9 loot around this location.
I know. Well, we haven't really checked in on them for a while here.
It's because they're never here. They're here for like a minute, and then they're out.
Well, I mean, that's what they're known for here. Okay, we're going south. Why not?
Just a little bit west of where we saw last time, but I want to say a little bit more interesting terrain. Once you bring in those hills that are around Rumblers and just to the south of them, that makes for some really interesting gameplay, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does. It does get pretty good down there, but you know what? We've seen it so damn much at this point.
Especially Phase 1.
I mean,
just
good
times.
Night. We've seen these southern hillsides turn up so often in these games on
what still amazes me,
I mean,
we still
never go north.
Drassel, bro, that's not how you keep your survival numbers up right now. But somebody's going to be able to come over there and res him. You can see Shrimsy's already on the way. I would laugh if whenever one of these knocks happens, somebody isn't very careful on their drive up and accidentally just runs him over. Oh,
these are professional teams.
That never happens in scrims.
Never happens. Well, scrims are scrims.
I know, scrims are where all the fun happens. Well, actually, I say that. NPL is where all the fun happens. We've been getting some really fun games as we move through here. And actually a little bit more casual with the circles today. So we still have Cloud9 being Cloud9, though, and putting on a hell of a show so far.
Yeah, they
going
sure
for some tricksy plays.
They sure have been here. As we actually have kind of an interesting drop path or drop location for E United. They have been going towards the southwest of Los Leones here for pretty much the entire split. This time, kind of doing a little 2-2 thing here west of Picado and just to the far, far west of Los Leones.
And they've got to be careful because sometimes Cloud9 does that early rotation, does sometimes look around this area. So Pistola Time could be in a vulnerable position. We've talked about it many times. The risk of running those separated loot strategies out in these areas means the fact that you're very vulnerable to full squads rotating very quickly and just come, like right now, if somebody was rotating, granted, it's still really early, I know, but you can see Cloud9 already on the move, could potentially go along a path and just suddenly catch somebody out.
And I mean, you could see kind of from the position that Geis and Pistola Time were in, no vehicles to speak of as of yet. Not really gone down to the street side, but it looks like C9 should be heading towards the southeast. United should be a little bit safer
wherever the
right
center is where Cloud9 should be.
That's where they're going.
That's the way they do things.
That's where they want to be. It's the hot spot, man.
Not having to make too much distance travel today, as the circle does kind of favor. That's kind of the benefit. Whenever you drop center, and it's kind of around the center of the circle, not a lot of rotation woes.
No, absolutely not. And even still, I mean, the teams that drop farthest north, they don't have a long way to go unless they were wanting to do some kind of crazy wrap to the south.
And this is one of the reasons why Cloud9 has just been so gung-ho about making sure that everyone knows Picado and Pachinki are their cities, because you get the benefits whenever circles happen like this, that you don't have to worry like if you're, Blue Martini Gaming that's over there in Cruda Val that's going to have to make a long rotation. You don't have to worry about any of those types of things.
Yeah. I mean, look, this Picado and Pachinki have always been the strongest drop loot spots. And I mean, that's not changing anytime soon here as we check on Envy making their rotation through. Are they going to get a little close here to nerf?
They had a pretty good first game. We talked about that these guys need to make some most. Well, they did. But then the only reason I say that was because the second game was not pretty good.
No, the second game was definitely not ideal here. Especially considering the fact that they loot Los Leones and the circle kind of favored them. So, you definitely want to see them do a little bit more when they have this opportunity to kind of rotate wherever they want to early.
Oh no, we've got Nerf that's actually pretty close to where they're at. You can see that he's in an interesting spot. A couple of long-range shots also coming out and going to force Venerated away. So Nerf going to go for the play onto this. Everybody's actually jumped back into their vehicles. He can get a nice little spray back over towards them. Actually going to jump out one of the players from Envy. Moody's off on the bottom part of this hill. Does have a firing angle back up towards Nerf, but multiple members of Cloud9 can also protect him. So now we're seeing a little bit of a skirmish that's very interesting to happen this early in the game with so many players kind of spread out different angles. Venerade's taking about half damage, but the way he's playing out right now, it should be fine. Cloud9's going to retreat back down. This is more just one of those, I want to say, dominance flex positions where you just take the shot, see if maybe you can get the down off of it. Now it's just going to kind of quiet down.
Well, Moody actually in a little bit of trouble here because he's kind of pinned down by the other two members of Cloud9. I don't think Envy wants this just because, you know, obviously you're pushing over the top of a ridge line. You don't want to push into a building.
They don't have the angles. They don't have the easy angles for it. So with Cloud9's reposition, they can really help keep Moody in his position that he's at because there's still one more member that can take a couple of shots around the backside of it. And yes,
look at Profi.
That's what Profi's going to do, what Profi does.
One grenade. Is it all he needs?
I mean, he should be able to hit this right in through that window. Looks like the drop's gonna bounce around the outside of it. So Moody's very aware that he's got somebody close to him as he's just having to avoid every little opening inside of that little wooden shack there. But Profi realizing, okay, I've made the play for it. Nerf deciding that he's gonna go up for it.
Well,
not gonna go through the window.
6 grenades here to work with, so.
There we go. Finally, Envy's just going to say, no, that was an overextension. But here comes the shots coming out from the other side of Cloud9. So with this, I don't know, this almost feels like
This is just a time-wasting fight here. I mean, they're fighting for center circle position here, obviously, but like,
But I don't think Envy wants it. Well, Envy didn't want it, but now they want it real bad because they've got the numbers. They're aware that there's two members off to the other side, so they have the strong push that they can make. Profi's aware of that. He just has to leave Nerf behind. PatCap's already going for a rotation. Look at this. Envy's actually making their way back down this hillside. Profi is in a lot of trouble as there are a ton of Envy members just running right down at him.
Oh, PatCaps needs to be aware, though, that the shots are coming from that other compound there. He pulls up and stops in a terrible spot here. He might end up going down.
This could be bad for it, and Profi's got a nice angle, gets one of them down. So with this, a little bit of aggression coming out from Cloud9 does cost them Nerf, but the aggression coming back from Envy could actually be a turning point for this as Venerated is going to get flushed.
Yeah, Ven gets flush here. Now Pat's still running around in the open, trying to duck these shots, trying to weave, stay alive for a little bit longer. But this, again, this was just such a weird fight to take here. And you got to figure, you know, if Envy maybe committed a little bit stronger to it right off the bat and ended it a little bit faster. Now Terrell's going to go down for Pistola time.
If Profi is paying attention to this, you know Profi is going to be very intrigued to go for a play off of it. The long-range shots coming up from Pistola time going to show up in the kill feed that another member of Envy is down. Profi looking around, seeing if maybe he can get a sneaky angle back over towards this.
Wow.
Does have the grenade for it. Is this going to connect? He hears PatCaps running through this. The grenade is going to roll back over, take down Terragate to take away one of the points. But Profi is still just playing along the top side of this building, trying to see if he's going to get the push off of it. Does manage to get the separation away from PatCaps.
Yeah, it looks like PatCaps pulled off of this smartly, in my opinion. Pushing into that 1v1 could have been very, very dangerous. And they've already lost 2 here. So C9.
With the firing angles, the other members of Cloud9 can't really easily make their way over here. You can see that they've already jumped inside their vehicles. They're thinking about making the cross, but Lazarus and E United have firing angles onto him. So if you're wondering why Profi has been by himself for so long, really, it's a very hazardous cross. You can hear the bullets going through as now finally the push is coming through. They've decided they're going to go for the push back over here towards Envy, but it is very, very risky.
Yeah, PatCaps just listening for footsteps, trying to see if he can gain
New circle
some
pops.
kind of idea of where Profi is, but Profi just staying completely still. They're going to push it as 2.
Envy hears this vehicle's coming in, so Profi goes for the shots. They go a little bit wide, but he was on the outside of the building. Now Envy should be aware of this, thinking maybe he jumped out the window. Could he go for a tricksy play back over? Gets the spray back to PatCaps, but not going to get the down off it. It's going to be Profi that goes down, but reinforcements from Cloud9 have come through. K-Mind is already down. Now it is just Win, the last member alive. What is he going to do? Looks like he's opted into going for the play. They've got 2 kills. They see the potential of more. PatCaps is just posted up right back behind this. Moody is rolling around the outside. Spray's going to come through on the door on it, so Win's got to be very, very cautious. Going to go for the spray, and Moody's going to get it. So that's going to be Envy mopping up Cloud9.
Envy gets 4 points, but God, that was 4 points the hard way. I mean, they still have 2 alive off of this, and they've got a compound. They're still center circle. They could stay alive for a little bit longer. But man, that was a really, really difficult fight.
That was an interesting set of events that just capitalized off of Cloud9 being in a position to try to stop a rotation, Envy actually making the stop, Moody getting caught out, and then just an exchange. It was the moment that Pistola Time from E United got the down. You could see everybody just started shifting into the next gear, going aggressive.
All right, we're checking in now with Pecadores as they make their rotation in, but they are getting uncomfortably close here to Ghost, and the shots are going to come out from Drassel.
Drassel just trying to line up on Pecadores, but Pecadores wants no part of this, making their way back up the hillside. So Ghost going to get firm control over the location around it. Vehicle explosion off in the distance, nothing too much to worry about, but it's actually going to be a couple of shots coming out from BMG's Basher that gets it down on the flush onto Voxic.
Actually, Shrimsy stealing the kill there from BMG, unfortunately, for the Blue Martini boys, as Pecadores manages to find a compound, at least for now. They're going to remain safe. Vexel just a little bit farther off, trying to gain a little bit more information.
McLevin's got himself the best little room ever. Do you see there's first aids all over the floor? Now he's got himself a motorcycle parked in there.
He's feeling great.
That's like, you can fight for days from that spot.
Feeling good. They are in the very far northern edge of this zone here right now. And actually, if you take a look, you see Shrimsy very separated from the rest of the team here. Again, got a long way to go to get.
Everybody opting on playing the western part of the circle because this is kind of similar to the last one that we saw. I mean, there are a lot of interesting terrain points that we were talking about. That's kind of the territory that I would like to play, but it seems like everybody in the NPL has decided we just like this location and are trying to play around it. That means if we get a shift off to the east, it could be crazy.
I mean, most of the time it is going to shift away from Los Leones. You got to figure. So the biggest spot here is Shrimsy. We can see he was trying to make his way in, but everybody in the world has now discovered him.
One
shots
more
coming
bullet.
out from Civ.
Trying to get the dance around, trying to keep it busy, and he actually does manage to break line of sight. So nice job from Shrimsy managing to survive there as bullets still landing next to him. Oh no, he's been spotted out from the other angle. Smoke's going to plume back up, so he's going to have to reposition off of it.
Oh, another one.
Shrimsy's taken, I mean, unlucky at this point if you're Shrimsy. It's just bullet just landing on toes, head, all over the place.
I mean, the problem is he's in a spot here where his team can't even provide him any type of support. They have no angle onto Lazarus just because of the way the terrain is working. So Shrimsy very much stuck on his own here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one-man army at this stage. You've just got to fight your way out of this, sneak your way through. Gets a little bit of a crouch, does manage to block line of sight with the hillside.
There you go.
Circle does favor back over towards the west, so nice job, Shrimsy. You managed to get away from one of them. But what happens next?
What happens now, indeed?
Because he's running away from the safe zone.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what he he absolutely had to do it. I mean, you have to reposition at some point, and you just kind of go for wherever it is that you can find that can break line of sight, and then just hope that maybe you can turn it around here. Eventually, as Lazarus going to take some long-range shots here at Envy.
So the remnants of Envy, they have their compound that they were playing around, but Lazarus already on the move, going to try to drive right over here next to him. Lazarus does also see Pecadores back behind them in rotation, so two different fronts that they're kind of caught up into a fight. You can see Civ did go down inside of this, but should be able to get rezzed. Now then, Alo has to be extremely cautious because you can see Moody is right on the other side. Keep in mind, this is what we saw just a second ago. This is the trap that set off everything a minute ago whenever Cloud9 was holding this position. Moody, you got to be careful because there's only two members up. If he goes for the play onto this, it's going to be extremely risky as there are several members of Lazarus on the other side. And that is a near miss peek both sides of that. So Moody's going to run back to defense.
Getting very, very lucky there. So Moody going to retreat here. Fortunately, Ghost providing them a little bit of cover. This time, Lazarus in a position where they can't really stick around and wait it out like Envy could for C9 earlier.
Ghost minus Shrimsy, because Shrimsy's still about, I don't know.
Well, yeah, Shrimsy.
Almost a kilometer away.
Shrimsy's on his own at this point. But you know what? Looking at the map, he should be okay. He might be able to get in
Depending on how these skirmishes go through, with Lazarus looking back over towards Ghost, naturally Shrimsy doesn't have the cleanest path to make it back over with his friends, but Adam's still playing along those ridge lines. Pat Caps and the rest of Envy are still posted up, but long-range shots coming out from Player 1 Esports are going to force everybody from Ghost to try to crest up back over this hill. You can see Drassel taking fire from multiple angles. They're just trying to find somewhere that they consider safe at this point.
Yeah, Lazarus was, up until now, still split up into a 2-2. Finally, the other two able to get into a vehicle and make their way over and become 4 strong. Ghost has been pinned down.
Well, I mean, both sides. Purdy managed to run back over here, so now we got 4 members of Lazarus and Shrimsy also with Ghost.
Well, there you go. And, you know, Ghost being pinned down right now by P1E the way they are might give Lazarus an opportunity to engage on Envy if they want to here, but I don't looks like they're just going to play it safe right now.
I don't think that they know that it's Envy, so they don't know how many members are on. So they're being a little bit more cautious.
And plus, you know, it's still pushing into a compound. But here we go, wild card. going to be fighting it off with Pecadores.
I like it. Throw down the Molotov. Go ahead and give him
Take
the
my
Viking
mixtape.
funeral. It's going to be Vexel going down in a blaze of glory, but Tamai also gets dropped for the discretions of throwing this down. So Pride now pushing up on the one side of this. Pecadores taking a couple of casualties off on one angle. So now you can see it's a 2-2 fight on multiple angles with this, as we got the Pecadores slowly pushing back around. Gonna get angled back over onto it. That's gonna be McLovin going down. Now it is just Smurf. He gets the retaliation down onto it. One member alive on both squads. So Sharp Shot looking back over towards Smurf, throws out the Hail Mary grenade, not going to connect for a whole bunch of damage off of it. So Sharp Shot going for the res, taking this opportunity to try to at least get one member back.
Yeah, and this is actually going to give Pecadores the opportunity to try to go for this res on McLovin. Right now, Wildcard does manage to pull it off. Smurf not committing to it just yet.
I mean, it's a hazardous push. He knows the fact that he's going to have to walk around somewhere where there's just no real cover if he has to make this cross. Now there's two members up. He's got to go back for the res. He has to get the numbers back so that way he's not walking into the 2v1 on two different angles with no cover to work with. And the circle isn't even close to them, so they're still going to have to make their way across probably about 600 meters or so. So the longer this fight goes on with 25 seconds, neither one of these teams in a good spot.
Yeah, I think both of these teams need to kind of decide what they want to do. Looks like Pecadores going to try to reposition here. I don't think they have vehicles either. So, I mean,
all right.
I don't know about Wildcard situation.
We did have a little bit of a push from Lazarus. They walked up, got the down on to Pat Caps. Have they been paying attention? Do they know that two members of Envy are already down, or are they just going to leave this? So, yep. I mean, Moody's all by his lonesome. So with this, it should just be a tick down, and Pat Caps hanging out inside the smoke, going to crawl over to the bathroom where he's just going to slowly die all by his lonesome.
7 grenades on him. 7 grenades. But Lazarus not going to go ahead and finish off that kill. They're just going to go ahead and reposition.
So Lazarus on the back of the motorcycle, driving through what is contested territory to say the least. They've got Endemic just down to one side, but they do find themselves a nice little place to call home. At least one of the members. You have 3 more members. They're going to have to follow up back behind this.
Yeah, long shots coming out from the rest of the Endemic boys. Wolf is a little bit closer here. I don't think Yalo is quite aware of how close he is. Define, look at this. Oh, no.
Going for the spray onto the door. It's a back and forth, just peak battle through this. So now we've seen how E United likes to play, specifically around these buildings. Stab's feeling pretty confident about this. Taylor J as well playing around angles. So Denial trying to get themselves a little bit more control over this area, as the other members of E United are not close enough to provide direct support. So Define Legit's just moving from window to window, trying to get a little bit more information. But again, we have seen Stab play this so methodically. It's this building specific.
Yeah, the rest of E United have shown up now. So this is a full 4v3, as you can see the angle Stab working here. Trying to find something. He's going to find. Oh, so delicious.
Nice shots coming out from Taylor J. So numbers now definitely in E United's favor, as they were just holding that hallway with the motorcycle in it. And here comes the push. Taylor J is the point man. Have to assume somebody's going to be around that stairwell, trying to see if maybe he can get a sneaky little peek off of it. Define Legit now knows that there's people floating around, but they don't check the angle, and that's going to be one of the members going down from E United.
Wasn't able to get the flush, though, so E United could still play this out.
Now we can see repositions coming out. Taylor J is trying to play this a little bit more aggressive, having to play around the stairwell. Grenades are starting to rain down. Taylor J steps out and away from this, knows the fact that he has to get the meds back up. Pistola Time is in the process of being rezzed. Define Legit still creeping around the top part of this. They only have their 2 members, so they know they don't have the easy ability to push down onto this fight.
Just wants to make sure he's not getting pushed. He's going to go ahead and pull back and get the heal off. Denial just holding down the top of the staircase right now. Define's going to peek down, see if he can find something.
This is risky. Sees the motorcycle, goes for the spray onto it, walks right in another set of bullets, and there goes the spray back and forth. Guys holding that angle very strong. Now just one member of Denial up and alive, and it's Crow. Just dropping a couple of grenades down next to him, trying to see if maybe he can get something out of this. We do have Taylor J that's down on the outside. How's E United going to play this? It looks like they're just fine with taking this slow and steady.
Yeah, they have no reason not to. They know that Crow's still up there. Oh, but now the shot's coming in from Tetra from long range here. Guy's going to have to force prone, but Crow still has grenades.
Throws the grenade through. I think it goes around and it's going to get the drop onto him. Crow comes up with an absolutely huge grenade while Accelerate is pushing up into this. So Pistola Time, he gets the kill onto one, but now it's Accelerate Gaming just flooding down into this position. Can we see it happen again? Is the grenade going to pop off? Is this the Room of Destiny? No! Somehow he managed to get away from it. Now, what are you going to do, Pistola Time? You are strongly outnumbered and in a very dangerous position. Go with the Molotov play. I like it, but now down to 1 hit point. As there we go, Molotov's going to go ahead and take down one and flush out another.
What is going on here right now? Accelerate got so excited when they walked into that room and saw 3 down guys. They accidentally killed Cloudtail in the process. It looks like they are going to get the res onto Disciple. Pistola time, though. How he's got 2 frag grenades. Why did he throw
I think
one?
he just got him. He ran back and went over to those.
Okay.
Going to throw out the grenade. He was expecting somebody to be around the other side of the building. Is going to connect. So nice awareness coming out from Pistola time. So still 2 members up from Accelerate Gaming, holding different angles as now everybody has learned. Don't go in that one building where all the bodies are. Too many grenades are going through. Tetra's trying to get a grenade. Where is Pistola time going to go from this? Looks like he's just trying to extricate himself from the fight, move out the other side of the building, might find a nice sight line. If Tetra's caught up looking at this angle, then Pistola time could find a very sneaky angle as, again, E United loves playing around these buildings.
Ooh. There
goes the shots. Tetra's going to go for a reposition, but that's going to force Pistola time to do the same.
Here comes SSG from the south side. They know that there's a fight going on here. They hear the shots coming out. They hear the booms coming out from the grenades, but they haven't committed quite yet to the push.
I mean, Pistola time is just comfortable holding
There
angles.
are 5 loot boxes in that one room, match room.
There's so much death happening around this, and Ghost decide that they want to come in and really mess with Pistola time's day. Where are you going to go, Pistola time? I mean, it's just full defense from here. He's just got to wait and see what Accelerate does. He's on full-on reactionary. He doesn't have an easy path back over to really influence this, and he knows it's going to be 3 members.
Yeah, and Accelerate really just pulling the brakes real quick. The E-brake is secure in place as they have just pulled back. They have 3 alive still. They're just going to hold down this compound. They realize they have circle. They're going to make late game again, which is something that we've been seeing coming out of Accelerate here quite a bit. They make late game, but they just can't really get all the kills and the placement points to jump in the standings at all here.
So how you doing, Moody? Yeah, just
hanging out next to my car.
He's just listening to all the fireworks go off around him, as now we've got Tempo Storm right up here next to Player One Esports. Spray comes out from McGill. It's going to get the drop down onto Zampa as well. So you gotta have full 4 members up from Player One Esports right now, as a lot of little small skirmishes are happening around this, and yeah, that's just going to be a flush out, peek back and forth. Tempo Storm didn't have the angle to provide too much defense onto it, but really, Player One Esports, you got the moral victory, you got the down onto 1, but where do you go next? You're not in the safe zone.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the risk that you take by playing that role that Zampa does. He is always the one that's playing the front-facing anchor. Ends up going down there. Unfortunately, the rest of his team wasn't able to support him here. As Ghost now getting involved with P1.
You can see the grenades just raining down back behind Player One Esports, forcing them down different firing angles. So with the repositions, Moody is still a factor. Player One Esports doesn't have an easy path off onto this, and Ghost Gaming just has so many nice sight lines. Aguila goes down and is flushed through this. Deetreats takes a lot of damage. David also taking about half life, all having to just drop down, and grenades are starting to rain down next to them. That's going to be another member of Player One Esports down.
Just grenade after grenade after grenade after grenade. They weren't able to get enough of it, but they're going to finally finish this up now with the ARs.
They have to be extremely cautious. Lamp-a-Lot just took a ton of damage, but there's been a lot of fire going through here. Ghost on the hunt for that one last remaining member of Player One Esports. He has the angle back down onto 1, but that gave away his position. Look at McCoy just walking right up into the bullets. It's a lot of damage back and forth, but it's going to be Shrimsy off to the side that goes ahead and rounds out that fight.
Very lucky for Ghost there that McCoy didn't go down, because he would have been flushed by a team from the south. So Ghost still remaining 4 strong here. Moody staying alive, though, making his way into the top 10.
Now, down to 9 teams, a 23 alive. Our man Moody still just holding back, hearing all of the things that have been going on around him. He's got himself a position to play off of, but Dimick does get eliminated, and that drops us down to 8 teams remaining, and it's a lot of these little side skirmishes. One thing to note, Pistola Time's still alive in that one building.
Absolutely, staying alive for as long as he can here as we check in on Moody. He's going to find Shrimsy, and that's going to be 1 kill picked up for Envy. And Ghost knocked down to 3 again. Snakes just causing so many problems.
I love this. This is so good. Take the shots, go for the reposition, seeing maybe anybody goes for a peek around a different angle. Let the skirmishes around the outside really reveal.
How did he not see him?
McCoy doesn't see that, so now it's going to make it very dangerous, as Pistola Time is taking shots into this as well. Ballot goes down from a spray from him, very long range, so now where are we going to see? I keep saying spray, but really it's just tap shots that are coming in off this.
Yeah, it's fine. Look, the solo players are just causing so many problems right now. Shrimsy had 8 kills. Holy moly, he is jumping up on the leaderboard now, as Drassel's going to get taken down by Moody. It's a 1v1. McCoy and Moody
back and forth off of this. We can see Moody took a lot of damage, but McCoy has as well. Going to go ahead and throw out this smoke grenade to get a little bit of separation between what's happening, but that could allow McCoy to go for the res. Looks like that is what he's going to opt into. Meanwhile, Moody just throwing down smoke after smoke, just trying to make sure he can get himself inside the safe zone very cautiously. But there you go. And it's going to be the Rumblers with the grenade. Just kind of a Hail Mary off to the side, like, hey, we hear things happening over there.
Yeah, I mean, look, Microfry nailed it. You can't take it away from him. His Rumblers still 4 up. They have a long way to go into the circle, though. They're going to have to wrap. It looks a little bit farther to the south. There's nothing but wide open ground in front of them.
So some of the skirmishes that we were watching beforehand are inside this new safe zone. We do have Rumblers that are going to have to make a pretty decent cross right around where we were saying Ghost a second ago. Neither one of these squads inside the safe zone, but we do have Accelerate Gaming and Pistola Time still alive inside the safe zone. Tempo Storm's been taking a couple of pot shots, and also do have Space Station Gaming over next to them.
Space Station has been running the south here for quite some time. They're still 4 up. They're sending shots back and forth. Right now they're engaging with Tempo. As we see Ghost just trying to stay alive for a little bit longer here.
So this is the skirmish off to the side. You can see Tempo Storm already has 1 member down. Grenades are kind of raining down next to them, but they're making a play around, what is it, like a watering machine or something like that? I don't know.
You're the farmer, man. Don't tell me.
I don't know, but we got to be careful with this. So as you can see, Space Station Gaming trying to make their push back over next to Tempo Storm. Maluke's still holding that high ground spot, but your boy Dre just cannot get res. Finally, Maluk spots out one, connects it with a couple of these shots, going to buy a little bit more space, but we also do have the Rumblers pushing back over next to Accelerate Gaming.
I'll tell you what, J-Sank is having one hell of a day as Bahawak is going to find Maluk's head through the watering machine, I imagine, I guess is what we're going to go with right now.
All right, so it gives a spray off the side of it. We do have Baja Waka taking a couple of shots onto this Sharky. Last man up, I believe, looking back over towards Space Station Gaming. Not necessarily an easy rotation that he would have to make from any spot here, but he is inside the safe zone right now.
Yeah, he should be safe for the time being. SSG knows exactly where he is, but here we go, Rumblers
right here.
Pushing into the compound.
We still have Pistola Time. He is in his home. At this point, like, he's kind of moved the furniture around. He's comfy cozy. This has been his place. He's got to be paying rent at this point, but we still have United with 7 kills, at least a 7th place position, and Pistola Time holding this down. While the Rumblers pushed in, it was Accelerate and them that got caught into the skirmish.
5 kills already on Pistola Time as well, so he is making the most of his life. As Sharky's going to get spotted out by Hetro. That's going to do it for Tempo Storm, going out in 7th place.
So we got the Rumblers defending one side of this building. New circle pops nowhere in sight right now. Everybody's going to have to move from this location into the safe zone. So we're finally going to have to see a little bit more of an interesting skirmish that's happening, as we do see Godspeed just holding that angle, waiting for anybody to make the push through. Looks like Space Station Gaming going to just go ahead and vie for moving into a position, going to potentially cut off all 3 of these squads that are going to have to move through there, as Drassel also off in the distance, going to have to make his way inside the safe zone.
SSG having a great game right now, having a great day. I mean, obviously, coming back from their last week is going to be a huge thing, but here comes a push. Pistola Time.
He took the shots, was trying to get a couple more angles, does get the down onto Godspeed, but Waldo does manage to polish that off. And we're going to see Accelerate Gaming. They aren't going to go for a play on this, even though this was the building right next over to them.
Accelerate, so, you got to go on that, man.
I mean, but they do still have the inside track, so they can kind of gatekeep out. There we go. We get the spray from Tetra, and that's going to be a flush. Now just 1 member of the Rumblers left. Going to opt into taking the motorcycle out and into the blue. Could be a rotation through. No, there's nowhere to go there.
Young Evil Knievel taken down in his prime, as Waldo and the rest of the Rumblers is going to be going out in 5th place. Now Accelerate will turn their attention towards getting into the circle.
Problem with it is Space Station Gaming has already pushed up and gotten themselves a nice little control piece that they can play around. And the way that we can see Accelerate Gaming having to push down through this, it's going to be right in the sight lines of Space Station Gaming. So we have 2 members up for simplicity right now. We have Drassel, the last remaining member for Ghost. 4 members of Space Station Gaming up that are taking control over the circle, and still 3 members from Accelerate.
Drassel carrying the points that Shrimsy has collected for Ghost on his back here as he tries to get a little bit more placement. He's going to find Accelerate.
Gets 1 of them, but blue damage is coming in. That's a lot of damage. He gets knocked down, but not before moving up into 10 kills for Ghost Gaming. Now, we do have Accelerate Gaming that did lose 1 inside of this, and that just favors Space Station Gaming even more. Now, how do these little duos that are off to the side of Space Station Gaming, how do they influence this? That's the question.
Yeah, Space Station has to be aware of Accelerate here. They attention probably on Simplicity. You can see they have such a great spread going on right now, covering multiple lines of sight here, but Carbon, one of the most notorious snakes in NPL, this guy is really, really good at staying alive.
And Baja Waka that's holding down 1 angle, and that's going to be Accelerate Gaming.
There he is.
Carbon does pop up right there, but everybody else from Space Station Gaming turns back around. That makes this 3 versus 2, but that res should be easily come through. Cherry Poppins is aware. heard the fight. Now going to play this a little bit aggressive, seeing maybe he can get something out of this whenever they're going for these reses. Oh, but he gets
from the
spotted
side.
out. That's just going to hand over even more control over to Space Station Gaming. One member alive for simplicity, and it's Cherry Poppins. Got himself an angle, gets it down onto J-Sank. Looking back over this, Baja's taking a little bit of damage. Now, how is he going to make the plays off this? Look at the reposition, the swooping angles coming out from everybody from Space Station Gaming. This is forcing Cherry Poppins just to have to play out in the open. Trying to hold that angle, tries to get the spray back over. It's a nice exchange onto both of them. But look, more and more members step up. Cherry Poppins gets one. Can he get another one? No, he cannot. But damn, that was close. Nice plays coming out from both. Space Station Gaming getting themselves a round victory.
Bahawaka with the drop shot underneath his fallen teammate to get the final kill there, using Hetror as a shield, essentially. Almost loses the 1v1 with Cherry Poppins, but Cherry put such what a great effort coming out for Cherry Poppins and from Simplicity there, but SSG at the top of the list.
I mean, so many plays were coming out of Cherry Poppins there towards the end. They realized that they did not have the numbers, trying to capitalize. They get spotted out off the rotation, and then he just managed to hit some absolutely clutch shots.
I mean, this is exactly what we wanted from SSG. The question was there, and it was rightful to ask. They had such a great week 3. Had they turned that